Hello, beautiful souls. This is Vinita Kumar, also known as Twinflameunion, bringing you guys in this week's Pep Talk and Empowerment. Twin flames and why it is important to have your healing done in this journey and how this actually ties into your connection and everything else. So we're going to be diving deep into this topic. It's one of the topics that is an enigma, at least it was when I actually started in the beginning of my journey, because people will tell you that you need to heal, but nobody tells you what you need to heal. And that is something that I found the hard way, that it's because not many people actually know what that means. What do you heal? What aspects do you heal? It was actually just one person that I had come into my own journey that ended up explaining it the way that she knew twin flame healing was, and I actually listened and I actually adapted it. I have my own way of doing this whole thing, but majority of it, whatever she was teaching, I actually did adapt it because I found some truth to that, and it actually worked fantastically in my own journey. So we're going to dive deep into that, but before we actually begin into this topic, let's hit it. And welcome back. For those that are new to this channel, please do not forget to hit like, share, subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any future videos. If you need to book any private sessions with me, all that information is also in the description box, and you can actually go right to my website and book with me from there. Now, as usual, those that are my regulars here, they know that if I am talking anything about the pep talk and empowerment, I also link all the blogs that apply or anything that applies in this pep talk. So I do that as well because it gives you guys additional tools for you to just take on with you and do your homework. I am a twin flame teacher, so I do give homeworks, and those that actually follow those, they do well. So it is what it is. So I just wanted to put that out. And for those that are drawn to this channel, new, welcome here, because there was a reason why you were led into this channel, and you're gonna actually learn some really good tips here on twin flame healing and how this applies. So as I said that earlier, I actually wrote some of these pointers here so that I don't miss any, because there's so many, and I've actually written 4-part series in this, expanded on law of attraction as well, which is a big part of this, so I'm going to actually go over that as well. So there's 5 parts to law of attraction, as well as 4 parts to the healing. So that's 9 articles that are already written, and I'm actually in the middle of one right now that I'm writing. In fact, I just want to tell you guys really quickly that in my Facebook, private Facebook group, I actually did a poll. I ran a poll to to see just what people were doing when they wanted to heal. Were they healing for their twin flame to be with their twin flame, or they were just healing for themselves? So I'll go over that as well, because it's a big part of that, and that's actually my entire article is based on that. So I've written halfway, and I actually want to just add more tips to it, because there's more. As a twin flame teacher, you do tend to go very deep on some of these aspects, because again, like I said, when I look at it as the way that I struggled, because for 1 year into my own journey, I was confused and didn't know what I was supposed to do. I didn't come from a spiritual background. I was religious. I knew about religion aspects, but spirituality is a little bit different from religion, though they tie together. And for those that are religious, that's actually a thumbs up for you, because it makes the whole spirituality side a little bit more easier, because you're not struggling with, connection with souls and all that sort of thing. A lot of those that I find, started embarking into the spiritual side, if they have blocks when it comes to some of the conditioning that has happened in their life, where they were forced to follow certain religion and they didn't like that aspect and whatnot. I mean, a lot of people don't like religion. Having said that, I do feel that it is kind of important. You don't have to be strategically religious to follow other people's belief, but I do feel that you should be connected to source energy, whatever that means to you, the higher power, because it just makes, when you actually embrace that aspect, your entire journey becomes a little bit easier as well. So I know that a lot of twin flames get drawn to what I say, because you guys are twin flames and this is the channel. But having said that, for those that are non-twin flames, and if you want to continue watching, you can go ahead as well, because there's lots of tips out there that I'm going to be actually giving you guys, that's going to be applying to just anybody that's in a generic way, that's going through a soul's journey. It doesn't have to be necessarily just twin flames. It could be just for people that are actually going through their ascension path and whatnot. So, or even just to change some aspects of their life, because I know that everybody is fed up of the way that some of the patterns have shown in their own life, that they do want to make some changes. So it applies to everybody. Whoever is watching this, keep on watching it. You never know what's gonna happen, because you may actually get a tip or two. And I know that these are very generic, that you can actually apply that. So it never hurts to learn more anyways, right? So today's topic, as I said, is twin flames and why healing is important. So I'm gonna start with the number one aspect of being a twin flame, because what I find is that as soon as you're awakened to the journey, of course, it's usually through however way you've learned it. Everybody has a story, and everybody's story is sort of unique but sort of similar as well. A lot of times, and I talk about me as well, because I did that as well when I was awakened to the journey in 2017. I wasted, I want to say, an entire year between my catalyst twin and my real twin flame, just following all these YouTube readings and tarot card readings and all those lovely things, what the person is thinking of me, and or when are they going to come back, and we've all done that, and I'm not going to say that I haven't. And it's for those that are very, very new in the beginning of your journey, I'm gonna just say that it's again, there's a reason for that too. So I don't want to sit there and give you guys judgmental insights on that, because the whole reason is that your higher self is at work. When you leave the judgment part out or whatever, I'll actually have an explanation why you're actually going through that, and that is that you you are being awakened to a bigger journey that's ahead of you, because once you learn that you're a twin flame, there's so many other aspects of the journey that just kind of starts to dive in. So the reason why you are drawn to these readings and all that, because you're forever, first of all, you can't believe this is happening to you, because that's everybody's story, right? Everybody's like, what the heck is this, right? You are you've encountered this amazing person, and this person, the bait is so juicy. I don't care if the person is not a looker. It could be a girl, or a guy, it doesn't matter. But for those, some of them are quite the lookers, but I'm just saying that it just doesn't matter, because at this point, it's the bait is so freaking juicy that you cannot and you will not be able to forget this person. So here you are, you're trying to make sense of what's happening in your life, and all these lovely things that the signs and the things are coming, and your inner intuition is saying that he's the one or she's the one, and you're running after this person. The person doesn't want to have anything to do with you, whatnot, right? So you're trying to make sense of it. So that phase is also a phase, because that's what majority of their people will tell you. If you're talking to people, the more people that are in this similar journey, they'll tell you this, right? So the whole reason is that you are looking at or watching all of these readings, because you want to make sense of what's happening, and you're trying to get your answers. But this is where my biggest advice to all of you that's watching is, you've got your answers, and it does help to book some private readings as well. I did that. I did a lot of readings. Actually, I booked quite a lot, and I actually still do those, but I choose who I read with, because at this point, I don't need to know how much he loves me, or how much, I don't need to know the connection, because I already know the connection. I just need to know some of the other things that's happening around my journey. So for that reason, I always get the reading, and I do invest in my journey. It's just me. This is the way that I look at it. I don't look at too much of the free readings anymore, because they don't go in depth. But if you're finding at your stage of your journey that you are finding some of these readings do resonate, then go for it, right? It's there. It's meant to help you as a guidance. But what I'm trying to tell you is not to be too hooked on it, and not to base all your decisions based on these readings that are out there in YouTube. So you are better off, and this is my best advice to anybody, you're better off to book a session with the readers that you are drawn to. That's what I used to do. And I actually made a lot of spiritual friends, you want to say, because I don't have friends in the journey, just because I find that that's very time consuming. So I'm friendly enough where I'll interact with people publicly and all that sort of thing, but I actually don't keep personal friends, because after my mission work, I have my own journey to deal with, and as well as my own private life. So I value that a lot, because I have some really amazing people around me, so in my private life, and I'd like to balance that all out. So that just goes with anybody that's becoming a public figure. You'll find that they don't want to engage too much personally one-on-one with people. But I'm not saying that I'm not a people person, but that's just the way that the people that are out there doing their missions, that's just the way that they all kind of go about, I found, right? But I did meet some really amazing people through all the readings and what have you. And I've made some really good connections in the process. So that was good part about that journey, because you get to make some connections, and I definitely made that with the movers and shakers, even in that aspect, and of course some healers and whatnot, and a lot of gratitude there, because you meet some really good people along the way, right? I know that not everybody gets to be this lucky as I was. I had my fair share before my journey, where I met some really scam artists and what have you. So I'm all aware of of the scammers out there as well. So just be guarded, and just do your research. if you are a twin flame awakened to this journey, then you have that inner guidance, that intuition. So, and you will be actually led by your team to the right people. Just allow that to follow through, and just allow that to incorporate, right? So listen to the guidance as well. If you are closed off to all of that, then your journey will be very, very difficult if you're not listening to your inner guidance and your guides and the signs and things from the universe, because they all kind of play around with it, right? So yeah, just keep that at the back of your mind. So I want to emphasize this again: do not only rely on these readings and think that you are healing, because readings are not healing at all, right? They're not. There's no such thing as, oh, I listened to this person that I follow, and she talked about this amazing transformation and all that sort of thing, and you think that you are transforming if you're not physically doing all this stuff that I'm gonna list as throughout the video, then you're not healing. It's either you are or you're not. It's not, you cannot replace one with the other. So I as a twin flame teacher, I'm gonna tell you as it is, and I'll tell you gently as best as I can. But there's only so much of false belief that you can be in, and that's my job, is to ensure that you are not falling for all of that, right? So you need to look into your situation and go deeper and deeper into your healing. So this is where it's very, very important. Like I said, I'm gonna just do some of the key pointers in this video, because my videos are usually shorter. They are lengthy, but I cover so much in my videos. But yeah, my articles will be more in depth, and I'll link those, and you can have a look at that as well. So we talked about readings and why it's important that you don't heavily rely on that, because especially if you are just watching the generic readings, because if you are doing the in-depth reading, astrological reading, all of these things aid into your journey, and there is no harm in that. I certainly have, and I find that those kind of readings totally helped me to make sense of that. So I'm at that point where I don't, like I said, I'm pretty confident that my twin flame is my twin flame, and the things that we are going through in our relationship dynamics is all based on it's part of the journey and all that. So I figured all that part out, so I don't need a reader to validate something that I already know, just because it's been 2.5 years now almost. So yeah, I know what's happening. So another important aspect that I want to mention is just because teachers will only teach you based on their own healing experience. Simple as that. If you have a twin flame teacher that's just telling you healing is amazing, this and that, and they're not telling you what that is, then yeah, it's because they haven't gone through that process themselves. And like I said, I've done a lot of healing, I've spent a lot of money in my healing, and continue to do so because I believe in it. There's only one more person that's a twin flame teacher that has, she's been in the journey for about 7 years. So, and I read all her blogs, there's about over 200 of them, and I read them repeatedly because it's just the way that I'm wired. I'm that dedicated enough that I will actually read what is being said, and it's all about conditioning your mind and whatnot. But she's the only one that I know of that has done massive extensive healing, and hats off to her, because she's a living example of what healing should be like. So yeah, I've been in this community for now 3 years. I do not know anybody else that has invested that kind of money, time, effort, dedication on their healing other than that one person. So that just goes to show that that's what I have for you for 3 years. And I've actually met people around the circle enough to know that there is nobody else that has come that close. And when I talk about my healing, I don't know if anybody's actually even come to my level of healing yet, that I know of. I'm not trying to brag. It's just that, I put day in, day out on my healing as well. So, and I continue to do so because that's an investment in me, because of my self-worth. I feel that I am worthy enough to make that kind of change in my life, and I have done it, and I'll continue to do it for the rest of my life. Whether I'm with my twin flame or not, whether it's somebody else that I end up with, it doesn't matter. It's just that I saw a lot of growth in myself in the last, especially the last 2 years. It's been amazing growth, and the 1 year was sort of wasting time trying to figure out what it was. So yeah, for those that are very, very new in your journey, if you're listening to this, then take what I'm gonna tell you, because then you won't be wasting a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, because you're gonna come back and do this circle anyways. So it just goes to show that you can't bypass the healing aspect that I'm trying to teach. So okay, so I want to talk about law of attraction. I'm going to start off with that. I've got a list here, so I wrote it out, so I'll go with the law of attraction first. People believe that law of attraction is a hoax, it's manipulating this and that and blah blah blah. A lot of people will try law of attraction, and they will find that it's not working for them because they're not in the same frequency, they're not in the same alignment, or they're manifesting something that shouldn't be manifested. For example, your twin flame, right? I'm going to rewind this a little bit on my earlier topic where I did this, poll, and I don't know what the percentage is, but I want to say from the last time I had looked, it looked like 70% of the twin flames from that poll that did it are into the aspect that they want to heal because of their twin flame. They want to heal to be with them. And it starts off that way for, I want to say, quite a lot of people, including me, because when I learned that I have to do all these blasted healings, I decided to do it with an agenda, with a purpose that, okay, I'm going to start healing me, and I'm going to do all these things, and then we're going to be, then my twin is going to come back to me, and we're going to, live happily after, right? Sort of thing. So that was what I had initially started out thinking as well, because that was the naive part of my spirituality, as well as a little bit of my ego, because ego desires, which is what that was my ego desire to be with my twin flame, right? And to live a happily ever after. So that was my ego desire riding the chariot at that time. And of course, if you know anything about spirituality, your higher self, ego desires is still the lower frequency of your higher self, because your higher self is the boss, right? So they actually oversee all of this. And when it comes to your higher self, one thing I have learned is there is no such thing as any god, any angels, any other being that is superior being will come in lieu of your higher self. Your higher self will override everything. They don't interfere, because this is something that you had decided before you were born, that you were gonna live through these experiences. You wanted to experience all those things that you're experiencing, and your guides, your gods, your angels, all these higher beings, though they are higher. This is how I understand it anyway. So some people think that your higher self is the god form. Could be, I don't know, because I do I've seen my higher self, I've seen God as well. So to me, they're two different entities, so I want to say that there is a higher force there other than the higher self. But when it comes to, your soul lessons and your soul growth and all of that sort of thing, they will not interfere with your higher self. So that to me is what I've learned. You can differ however way in your opinion, that's okay, because everybody has to have their own understanding of it. So I've kind of simplified it that way. To me, this is how I feel. So they don't interfere. So a lot of people, they start the journey off thinking that they want to be with their twin flame, and what have you. And what ends up happening is that they, of course it doesn't work, because it's your ego desire that's at play. So your soul will win, and that's your higher self will win, because the whole idea of the spiritual journey, the twin flame journey, is that you want to become in wholeness with yourself, with your higher self, in your original form. So you are actually shedding all this rubbish that you accumulated over lifetimes and lifetimes, as well as growing up, because from a baby to where you are in your age, there's been a lot of stuff that has happened as well. So that is also accumulation of that. So you are shedding all that stuff, right? So when you're in that transformation of the soul, your soul will win every single time. And your twin flame is also playing their script, because that's their transformation as well. They're not only you are transforming, they are as well, but it's all part of that script. So they stick to their script, and it's up to you if you want to stick to yours. No matter if they are with a karmic, or if they are ignoring you, running away from you, they're still sticking to their original script. Believe it or not, it's really hard, because what we do is we attach our emotions to all of this, and we think that whatever is happening, we are just basing it on the old relationship template, the 3D template of typical relationship, right? And one thing you've over and over heard is that the twin flame relationship template is not the 3D regulars. This is why the normal 3D regular relationship rules do not apply in twin flame journey, because it's not working for you, right? You're supposed to be anchoring the 5D relationship. So the 5D relationship is a lot of hard work, so you're bringing that into your dynamics. So that could be it could be very different from the normal relationship that you see your friends and family have, because that's what it is. So, and this is where a lot of people get really disappointed, because they try a little bit of the law of attraction, and they find that they're not getting instant gratification. They're not getting an overnight, okay, I've manifested this and bam, it's gonna happen. It doesn't happen that way, because it's all based out of your ego desires, right? You have to actually reprogram yourself, and it takes a while to even reprogram that aspect. It's a slow process. So for those that have tried a little bit of manifestation technique here, there, and you found that it didn't work, and then you gave up really quickly, which brings me to another thing that I just want to point that out. A lot of people also, because it's all part of law attraction or manifesting, or they've done a reading and they see that okay, you're gonna be going through a massive transformation, and then bam, you're going to be with your twin flame, and you're actually not with your twin flame. A year has gone by, 2 years has gone by, you're not with your twin flame, and they're like, okay, you know what, I'm going to give up this journey, I'm going to move on, this and that. So that's again not being committed to the journey, and just figuring out what it needs to be. You can't just leave it halfway, right? You have to kind of complete what you've started. So patience is something that this journey does teach. So and I'm pretty sure you've heard this many times. Patience is patience, perseverance, all this stuff is very, very important. And having, excuse me, it's the burping, and the having the faith that you will see it to fruition as well. So law of attraction talks about, basically, the biggest one that I find with law of attraction is constant gratitude. And this is why majority of the law of attraction coaches and teachers will teach you that you need to be in constant gratitude. So this is why gratitude journaling is very important. I know that Bob Proctor he's one of the guys that I follow because he's a cute grandpa that, I don't remember my grandpa that well, my dad's dad, but the few things that I do remember about him, I definitely, part of the paradigm conditioning, I found that, yeah, definitely that did pass on in my life, so, because I'm always looking for this really good, amazing dresser, the ones that, and not, they don't look like somebody that just came off the bed, so it's, because my grandpa was very, very suave and very, very stylish kind of guy, so, and his clothes were very, very crisp and ironed and all that sort of thing. So that kind of, again, when you are doing your own healing and you're diving into your own childhood and some of the things like that, you will find that a lot of these kind of things you learn about yourself, and you start looking at why you behaved a certain way or why you turned out a certain way. So those were all some of the subconscious conditioning that I was getting, because my dad had good and bad days. If he wanted to dress up, he would really look good, and there were times when he just didn't care. He just, so he was he was never the middle. It was always this or it was that. So and I found that he definitely, I didn't look at that in the aspect of, guys and all that. I always preferred them to be really, really good dresser and whatnot, and I remember that to be my grandpa. So yeah, Bob Proctor is one of those good grandpas, that I kind of, he doesn't like being called grandpa because, though he's, in his 80s, his mindset is still off in his 20s, because, again, that's law of attraction. You wanna, if though it doesn't matter how old you are, your mindset, if you're still having a mindset of somebody that's much, much younger, then you actually convey that, in your health and your well-being and whatnot. It's all about reprogramming. So he writes 10 things a day that he is grateful for, and he's been doing this for over 50 years. I just started this about a little bit more than a year ago, and I usually write 3 things. So it's either 3 things, 5 things, or 10 things that you are grateful for. So, and I always start with the sentence, as I am grateful for, and then I just list whatever it is. And sometimes I go more than 3 per day. And sometimes it's just 3, depending. It doesn't matter, because I always make sure the minimum is 3 for me. So that is one of the biggest, way to start being humble about what's happening to you. It could be as simple as somebody that's opening the door for you, a stranger that's opening the door for you, and you smiled and you said thanks, and you can put that in your journal. Or it could be something as, somebody walking down and down the street and they've given you a smile. You can put that there. It's easy to list 3 things. There's no such thing as why you wouldn't be able to do that. What I found with that is that when I started doing that, oh my goodness, like the universe started just, like I had strangers that would come and help me. And holy moly, like I just, today was my day, because I couldn't believe it. And I'll share this part of gratitude, because last week it was raining like crazy and I wasn't paying attention. So I was at a stop sign, and there was another vehicle in front of me, and I knew that this person was making a stop sign, but I was looking to the opposite direction. I was trying to see my, my clearance, and I completely assumed, which is bad of me, that this person had made the right turn and didn't. So I just kind of swung. I didn't put my vehicle in the gas plate. In the gas. Like I didn't accelerate, but I just rolled into hers, and there's minor damage in the bumper, but of course how it works is they have to repaint the entire bumper. I had my license plate had a little hole in there. I was like, no. And then I've got a plastic cap on my bumper that needs to be replaced. If I don't replace, it's not a big deal, but I don't have any other damages. But I was like, oh my goodness, because insurance is very expensive if your premiums go up, and right now I haven't had any, like I have at a discounted rate, and so it's like, yeah, so I wanted to pay it up cash, with the insurance brokers, because we only have in BC, British Columbia, Canada, it's we only have one insurance company that is the government that governs this whole thing. So, but both of the times that I called, the agent was amazingly helpful, this and that. She gave me tips and, just kind of walked me through it. And even so, that night when I was writing my gratitude, I was so mad at the universe, because it's like, are you kidding me? Why would you do this to me? But that night when I was writing it, I listed about 5 things that I was grateful for, and I had a really, really bad day. It just goes to show that, you have to really, really train your mind as such, and I did that. And then today, fast forward, like I went through all the steps and whatnot, and I went to the auto broker shop, and they quoted me a few $100s for that plastic cap. And I didn't want to get my bumper repainted. There's nothing there for it to be painted, so I just just left it at that, right? So yesterday I was at my dealership, and they were putting the winter tires in, and those boys, they actually look after me quite a lot, I've been going there for years now, so they're very good boys. So long story short, they ended up giving me the quote for that plastic bumper part. It's gonna cost me $30 and change, and for them to put it on, whatever that is, like $50 maybe, so versus the $300, so it was cheaper than my $500 deductible if I were to go through the insurance. So today I ended up calling the insurance people, and yeah, they got their quote, whatnot. And the opposite party, they and she was actually quite nice too, like, though, it just goes to show, if you're in a right vibration, right things will happen. And I'm just trying to tell you that part. So anyways, I stayed positive the entire week. I thought, okay, it happened, I'm not gonna ruin my entire existence because of what had happened. I'll just deal with it as the universe will throw it to me, right? So that's what I kind of did. So today when I talked to the lady, the insurance woman, she looked at both of the parties, and she said, oh yeah, it's all in par, and I know that you were concerned that you didn't want to pay for damages that were not caused by you. You just want to pay for what you caused, right? So for the entire bumper work that they need to do, though it's minor, they have to actually do the entire thing. That was a $3,400 cost, and I'm like, oh my god, so what happens now? Because I am only allowed to pay $2,000 up to between the two vehicles in cash, before your insurance will get affected. So she's like, well, when was the last time you had an accident? If you haven't had an accident for more than 10 years, that's your fault, that you get a freebie. Let me just check with the customer service. Like, she put me on hold, and she went and checked. And I was like, what? I was so happy. I couldn't believe it. So instantly I was in gratitude. I was jumping up and down, because that just means that, I don't have to go through this process. Because once your premium goes up, it's like it takes forever to bring it down. So those that live in British Columbia or even in Canada, they will know it's like a pain, right? You don't want to deal with it. So anyway, so she came back and she said, yeah, you get a freebie. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. So that entire accident, instead of for me to cost like thousands of dollars, ended up to be only a couple of $100, if that. And I even asked, because my front license plate is personalized plate, and some of you already know that that's dear to me, because it's got my Twin Flames initial and the 717 in there. So anyways, I wanted to get it reordered. I wanted to know whether I need to order it as a pair, or can I just order it as one. And so she told me to just call the local broker, which I did. It turned out that I can just, because it's personalized plate, I can actually just get the one replaced versus the two, so which is good. So it means that it'll be a little bit cheaper. So yeah, for couple of $100 and change, you know, I've got my entire stuff looked after versus thousands of dollars. And this is what I'm trying to tell you where gratitude is. And I ended up calling my dealership and talk to the boys. I actually thanked them. It was different people. It didn't matter because you're paying it forward, right? You know, you're telling everybody the good stuff that happens because it lifts their spirit as well. It's that ripple effect, right? And sure enough, you know, I told the guy the story, and you know, he listened to it. You know, he was happy for me, and he was happy to listen to somebody that was satisfied, because I told him that, you know, well, you boys actually look after me. And then I joked about you know, my service advisor, because you know, he's always looking after me. He's been doing it for years. And I just said that, oh yeah, I gave him a very bad rating. I was joking with the other guy, and he's like, yeah, that's okay, you know, he needs to of course I didn't, you know, I gave him actually 20 out of 10, you know, if there is such thing, right? I always give him good ratings. But we were just joking that, yeah, you know, he's not doing his work, you know, he just pretends that he's doing his work when he's not. So anyways, yeah, I told the guy that, you know, just have the service advisor call, because he didn't know about this information as well. So it's something that, you know, you passing on the joy, really. And that's what the universe is, right? You know, you're passing in your day-to-day joy, you know, experiences. And when you do that, then what ends up happening is people become positive about things too. You know, it actually gives them something to look forward to as well. Because even though this is my story, now a lot of you have heard it, and you're gonna, next time something happens bad with you, you will actually remember it, that, okay, you know, she said that, so let's continue being positive. Another one, I've got so many stories like this, you know, where I had my cousin had set for exam, and you know, she thought that she had scored really low, and I told her keep positive, because the thing is that, you know, this, of course, her job depended on this, and she got a 75%, but you know, she was disappointed that she got 75. She wanted it to be in the high 80s, you know, kind of thing. And I said, well, you know, just stay positive, because even if you are meant to pass, you know, with your negativity, you will actually you know, give into that energy, and you don't want to do that. And sure enough, she passed, she got the job and what have you. So that was a learning lesson for her as well, to remain positive at all times. So this is law of attraction. So it just goes to show that a little gratitude can do amazing things, you know. And so yeah, you want to do that. I just finished doing my life gratitude journal, and that's from the age of 1 to my current age. I found that you know, that was very healing as well, because the first 3 years of my life was very, very easy to write down 15 things. So I did 15. I don't know what the rule is on that, but I did 15. So I wrote 15 things per year that I was grateful for. And the first 3 years was really, really easy for me to do. And then, excuse me, I found that the last 3 years, which is my twin flame journey, I found that that was the easiest so far. And though I am still in this year where I haven't completed it, my birthday will be next year, but I'm going by age. I found that I had already listed, I believe, 11 things. So I want to, I don't think that it'll be 15. I think it'll be more than that. And that's okay, because I'm in the moment now, and I'm actually in that gratitude mode. So I don't think that it'll be 15, because I already have almost 15 right now, and I definitely will be writing about this. There's going to be one entry there on this, because this is a major aspect, you know. So it was a big highlight for me, and it was a big lesson for me as well. And that's the thing that, you know, in this spirituality, is that, you know, you actually you know, learn a lot of things on the way. And good thing about this was that I did learn to have the faith and to continue being positive. So that was my own lesson for me. You know, we can never say that we're never learning, because those that say that, you know, you're just speaking out of your ego, because yeah, you're constantly learning. Your life is teaching you everything, right? So that's about gratitude. Another thing that I also believe in is the affirmations. And this is not the mirror exercise. Let's, you know, I can't stand those mirror exercises because they don't heal you at all. That's just all bogus. But this one is an affirmation that you can recite, or because you're actually anchoring in the I am presence. It's the I am. So you are saying I am, and then you could be saying whatever you want. I am worthy of good health, right? Because that's what you're anchoring in. So yeah, like in Twin Flame Union group, the daily moderators daily, they post this for the group members to write down, because it's again, it's all about manifesting. So and a few members do that, considering that my group is over 7,000 people in there. I can't believe that people are just bypassing that post and not doing it. Again, it's your life, it's your manifestation, and if you choose not to do that and you're just overlooking it and you're randomly posting on somebody else's post about how good looking your twin flame is and unconditional love, this and that, well, if you're not actually practicing it here, there is no way that you're actually doing any unconditional love for yourself, because this is your love that you need to do for you, right? So you heal you, not because you want to be with your twin flame. Your whole point of the entire journey is it's all about you and your growth and your expansion. Nothing to do with your twin flame. They are their own person. They can do whatever they want. That is not the case. The only thing that you can claim to your worth is that your twin flame and you are twin flames, and you actually are absolutely nuts and crazy about that person, and you're deeply in love. That's the only highlight you can claim. Everything else you got to do yourself. That's it. You can write that as an affirmation if you want, that the only thing that I can claim is just that. So put it in a sentence, frame it, and throw it where you're going to see every day, because everything else is you here. That's it. Your twin flame will not help you. They will help you energetically to an extent, which I talk about. They'll come and meet you in your healing sessions energetically. They'll heal, all that sort of thing. But let's face it, this is your solo endeavor. You gotta put in your own work. So for those that are looking at those posts that are twin flame group members and you're bypassing it, it's your life. You do what you need to do, but you're not going to manifest anything with that. So not even your twin flame, because it starts from somewhere, and it's all about manifesting and healing, right? You gotta get into that alignment. And that's I'm saying it very boldly because it's disappointing to me that these moderators, these girls, work so hard in trying to keep the momentum going for the group, and trying to keep them in the alchemy mode, and nobody understands what the deeper meaning to that is. So it's something that hopefully after you look at this, you will dive into whether you do it in your own journal, that's okay. You can write down in the comments, I don't mind, because you can tell me that you're doing gratitude journaling it. I would actually, I think that even if you are not doing it in the group, it doesn't matter. If you're doing it somewhere, do it, right? And don't miss it. So because it's very, very important when you do that. So law of attraction kind of works based off that, and of course everything else that aligns with that, because once you start getting into that manifestation mode, you start shifting everything, and it kind of goes from there. There's other aspects of that, but I just wanted to highlight that because that was very, very important, and I will link my other blogs on that, on law of attraction. That's five of it. Just see what that means and how this applies, because it's constantly being in that gratitude, knowing how to manifest it correctly. If you're manifesting based on your ego desires and fear, then it's not gonna manifest, and you continue with it, right? Vision boards is another one. We are coming to the end of the year, so it's very, very powerful. Journal scripting is very, very powerful as well, because you're putting your intentions there, you're putting your energy in there. So have a look at those. I talk about manifesting with candles and intentions, so those are one of the ways. There is no such thing as the portal will open, bam, like that 1111 portal that had opened for the collectives. And people just think that that's just going to be that automatically download. Yeah, it can. But for those that actually did some sort of, something for that portal activation, like I know that I posted that there was a healer that was doing the activation. I actually got massive clearing in that, and I couldn't believe it. So those are some of the things. You get what you pay for. And for those that actually did that, activation, what have you, they paid for it and they actually saw the benefit of it. They are laughing, because here they are. They took the juice. They took the universe's juice. Those are the juices that you want, right? All these portals, when they open up, you want the juice. Another one was Halloween, October 31st, I had put a bunch of intentions there. I do that daily with the group. So for those that also do not pay attention to what I post in the public social media accounts and in the Facebook group, then it's your journey again, because you should be paying attention to that. I actually did all that, and whether you do that with other members or not, that shouldn't be the case. You should be watching very closely what I do, because that's where it's gonna go. You're gonna be here, and if you follow what I say, you'll be here. So it's that's where you want to be, right? And again, your journey is your journey. So yeah, I highlighted that part as well. And there were some that actually did manifest, and I know that I got feedbacks from a few of the people, and they actually got some really good manifestation going and actually came to fruition. So just goes to show that you gotta pay attention to your teachers and the ones that are your mentors, because I certainly do. I pay attention to all of them, that tell me whatever, because my eyes and ears are open, and I don't waste my time on just wondering in la la land what my twin flame is doing through tarot card readings and whatnot, because I have better things to do. So that's just my growth from 2.5 years ago. So yeah, it's that's just the way I look at it, right? I rather listen to some of the self-help books, which is another one that is law of attraction. The self-help books, that there's a lot of them that have the audio files in the in YouTube, So in my case, I have no time. I wish that I had time to actually read them, because you actually anchor in the words better. But what I do is I do buy them, because I believe in the money, investment and the energy behind that. So I do buy the books, but I do also listen to the audio, because God knows when I will actually have time, if that, to actually read that. So I just listen to the audio files, and to me, they got very, very addictive, because it made sense to me, because it's where I am in my journey as well. So I found that was very, very helpful in that sense. So yeah. So that is law of attraction. You can dig deeper into my blogs. Another one is meditations. Now, when you're connecting with healers, of course, they are doing it one-on-one. So you actually get to go through guided meditations. They actually take you through a journey through some sort of meditation, hypnosis, that trance state of going, and they open up that vessel, that energy, right? For you to do your traveling, and what they're trying to do is, there's only so much you can heal on your own, and that's when you actually need healers, because they will open up that tunnel, and you need to go past the tunnel to be able to see what's on the other end, and you can't do that on your own. It's always the healers that can help you there. This is where you get what you pay for works, because you can only get so much free juice from YouTube and the guided meditations. And don't get me wrong, we all have looked at that, and we have benefited. I certainly do, but there's only so much that will happen until you actually start to put in that money. Money is energy. Whether you invest $1 or $1,000, it does not know the value, it knows the energy behind that. So this is where it gets very, very crucial. So when you're actually putting in that value in there, paying for energy exchange, then you actually get a lot of breakthrough in your own healing. So that's what it is. Again, I've done the free stuff, and you want to mix them up. You want to mix the free guided meditation. You want to book with them as well. If a healer resonates with you, book with them and see if the free stuff is pretty good. Imagine what their paid stuff would be like, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you, because that's how I've always looked at it. If they're free, whatever they've given to you for free, if that is good, then imagine what the paid stuff will be like. Yeah, I knew that long time ago, so I go for that, because that's my way of knowing. Same thing with readers. If their free stuff is resonating with you, then imagine what their personal reading would be like when you actually pay for it. And that's the juice, right? Always. So guided meditations are definitely something that you can look at. I think that they're very powerful. Another one is past life. Some of you start getting recollections of past life. You start getting dreams. You start getting a sense of knowing that you had some past life connections, maybe through some epiphany. You've got this, you've got that, and now what are you doing with it? How do you heal that? How do you know it's something you need to heal? You don't. You just know that that's the only thing that you've got. That's where you connect with the healer. You pay for that service, right? They take you there. They work with you there, and it's never pretty. So for those that think you are a princess in past life, and you were with your twin flame and what have you, yeah, you could have been, but what's the story? Why is your soul showing you that? Nothing is random. There's a reason for why you are being shown something like that. I've gone into my past life where I've been a queen, and my twin flame was a general, and I was married to somebody else. There was a story there, right? And why was my soul showing me that? Of course, my twin and we had an affair, and I couldn't be with him in that lifetime. So I chose the kingdom. I chose the king, and I made the vow. And yeah, that definitely bled in every lifetime after that I could see. So again, you need to know what that is. And up till this day, I learned that last year, and up till this day I still am healing on that aspect, because it's still very excruciating, because you go in there with a healer and you see what you see, and you're living it. You're having that experience like you're actually there. So, and that's not the same thing as dreaming it and having an epiphany, a recollection of the past. How do you go there? How do you clear all that sort of thing, right? So the healer will actually help you do that. This is where, it's one thing being ignorant, and there's one thing being naive about it. So for those that are naive about it and didn't realize that there's more to it than that, because your soul will never, ever, ever show you something that doesn't pertain to something that has a higher meaning to it. By you learning that you had previous life with your twin flame, and you saw some aspects of it and nothing else, it's not going deep enough, because there is many layers that you need to go through, right? So it's helping you see something that you didn't see or overlook, or you can't on your own. So it doesn't matter how good of a healer you are, you can't do that. Like, I can do past life work on my clients. Can I actually see anything past life in dreams, epiphanies, and visions and whatnot? Never. I have never been able to, because it's always a healer that takes me there enough to see it. So and it's not the way that my higher self shows me things. So again, I know that. So if I want to, I always go back and see what's happening. So that is another aspect that you want to look at. It's very, very important, because all that stuff will bleed into your current situation, your life, and what have you. Another one is money, because money is a form of love. I've actually done lots of money healing in my own journey, because it goes back to past life and what I have done there. So yeah, there's always a story there, and how that actually comes, and it bleeds into your situation, your life, and everything. So there's energetic cords that are attached to all that sort of thing. So you need to remove all that stuff, and of course you can't do that on your own, because if you cannot heal what you don't know, you won't heal it. It's the conscious stuff that you're healing right now, and unconscious and subconscious stuff you have to actually invest in, and go and deal with a healer that can actually help you see all of that stuff. Some of the subconscious stuff maybe will it will show up, but like past life and that's all unconscious, because that's on your blind areas of your of yourself that you can't see. So that's where the big difference is. So and if people have problems spending money, or they don't have enough money, then use law of attraction to manifest it, because you know that when it comes to your healing and your higher self will always find doors and roads and everything to open up for you to facilitate. And that was another thing that in this week and a half, I had actually teed up with a healer that would help me access that, and I'm going to be actually booking with her. And I was thinking that, well, if I have all these expenses that have come up with this minor accident, then that's going to be ridiculous. I won't be able to afford it. And apparently now I can. So so yeah, I'm going to be booking with her in the next week and a half, and because she's actually based in Europe, so and I'm actually here in Canada, so we have to just work out some time difference. And yeah, I'm going to be actually working with her on my subconscious reprogramming, and she's going to actually help me access a little bit more of my past life and what needs to be cleared on it. So again, you can't put a price to all that sort of thing, and no guided meditation will take you that deep enough. So this is where you need to heal that aspect. Another one is, though this has been my issue, is that in the community, people have talked a little bit badly about Reiki. And for those that don't understand Reiki, a Reiki practitioner will actually pull in the universal life force energy, and they will actually just do the healing, right? So it's good to know who can do that and how they can explain you those kind of things, because I think that is a powerful form of healing as well. And some of the healers actually can go deeper than that. I know that my Reiki healer, excuse me, holy she goes very deep with the Reiki healing itself. She's a very good Reiki healer. So yeah, I think that that is also important. But again, I mix everything up. I feel that healing is just not one thing. You just mix everything up, right? And that's what I had learned from my own teacher, and I actually applied that in my own healing as well, before even knowing that that's what I was doing, but the way that she explained it, it made sense to me. So you want to mix things up. You don't want to just stick on to Reiki and do nothing else, because then that's not going to work, right? You want to mix everything up. So you just got to keep going, and before you know it, that whole healing process will come into full circle. Actually, it does. It's amazing. So yeah, you want to do that. Another one that I call is body basics. Now, this is just very, very generic, but it actually, my God, it's amazing, because especially if you get some really good healers that actually are very, very gifted. Like I have my massage therapist, that I go to. Body basics would be chiropractor, massage therapist, acupuncture, physio, and I'm pretty sure there's others that I'm dry needling, any of those, like anybody that facilitates that. For those that have extended medical benefits, or if check with your local care providers, because sometimes it's covered into your plan. So if it's something that is free within your plan, go for it, because you'll feel amazing, and it's a good way of passing the energy out of your body, because on your chakra system, trapped energies, when they are there, when they're stagnant, that's when everything else is stagnant. So what they do is they actually move the energy out, right? And it could be through pain and aches and whatnot, but that's the energy that you want out, and you want to flush that out right out of your body. So it is part of healing, because I do believe that I certainly did see that in my own healing. So yeah, I just want to give you guys a thing on this. The massage therapist, this is somebody new, because before I had another guy that was doing my massage. So I went to this one facility, and that's where everybody's there, like the acupuncture or what have you. And I found that this guy, I told him a couple of times, and I'm like, are you spiritual? Are you like a healer in that sense? I mean, he is a healer, but the spiritual healing. And he said, no, not really. But I swear to God, like when he's working on myself, like my entire chakra system is just open, because he's very, very gifted. So what I did, and this is for those that know Reiki, because you'll know what I'm talking about. At least if you had a good Reiki teacher, that would have explained to you what that means, so when you are doing Reiki, when you do this, when you activate your Reiki symbol, when you do this, you feel the magnet. So, you feel the pull, and that's what is the healing. So anyways, after he did the massage, this was a couple of days ago, so I wanted to ask him, do you know what Reiki is? Like, well, it's part of, he didn't have any Reiki qualifications, but he said, yeah, it's part of my curriculum. If he wants to, he can, because these days, another thing that I want to bring up is that a lot of hospitals and a lot of clinics like this, they're starting to go into the Reiki aspect of it, because with the help of medical system and the care system, and infused with Reiki, boom, can you imagine what kind of healing that is? And a lot of actually nurses, some of you that are into that, comment there, because I want the people to know that how powerful it is, especially if you are into the medical field and what have you, and you've actually taken Reiki, and give your experiences to the people in the comments for sure, because you would know firsthand what I'm talking about, because you're applying this with your patients and whatnot, and you see that amazing transformation, because you're working with your Reiki hands, right? You're actually applying all that stuff. So and yeah, people love especially nurses and what have you, like anybody that's in the medical field, if they are slightly spiritual, they prefer to take these kind of extra juices, so that they can help people a little bit better with the healing. So anyways, I asked him, if he can just do this, does he feel the magnet? Because after he worked on me, I just asked, and he did it, and he said yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's Reiki. So yeah. I was bang on because I knew that he was a healer. So here I am. I'm getting 2-in-1 deal. I'm getting the massive Reiki healing as well as a nice freaking massage. Can you imagine after my massage? It's like, I'm like really, I can't believe it. I'm just in heaven. So, you know, I think that the universe works amazing that way. And this is why I'm going back to the gratitude, because your guides and your team will pair you with the right people always. It's the journey. It's the amazing part of the journey, because once you get into that gear, you will always meet the right people that will actually help you. Because at the end of the day, your higher self wants you to succeed in this journey. Your twin flame wants to succeed on this journey, right? Your higher self, your twin flame, they all want that twin flame union. So, and yeah, all that little things, whoa, and yeah, lot of magic if you want it to allow. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. So stay with it. Do not give up. It may take a year, it may take you 2 years, maybe 3 years to get in alignment with how fast my alignments have happened with these little things. I have stories, I have daily stories, so I don't usually tell people too many of the daily stories, because what I find is that it's just so much. I can't, it's too many to list. So another thing I want to say is that I saw a few weeks ago my twin flame's latest picture, and I have his older pictures, so I know that that wasn't the case. With all the spirituality stuff that I am doing and what have you, I want to say that why I think that this all works at the end is because they get on they get a knockoff from what you are doing as well. In his latest picture, he's got his third eye opened like that, horizontal, like Lord Shiva's. And if anybody knows me well enough, they know that Lord Shiva and Goddess Shakti, they are my ascended masters and my twin flames ascended masters, guiding our own twin flame journey. So this journey does work, and all the hard work that I did all my life, on the religion aspect, my devotion to the couple, my twin flame journey for 2.5 years, all of that, when just to see his picture and just to see that he's got his third eye open like that, wow. I want to say that that whole thing is worth it, just to even see one picture of him that is like that. So yeah, I'm humbled. Let's just say so. Journey has magic, at least it is on my case. So and I'm pretty positive in this such a situation, because I see, I'm very visual, so the universe definitely makes sure that a lot of stuff is visual and in action. So they show me everything in action. So, and all I'm gonna say is just keep bringing it on, bring in the juice, universe, because I'm here, I'm dancing with you. So definitely keep doing it, keep doing what you're doing, because it's working on me too. Another thing I want to mention is some of you have had some really perhaps conscious and something maybe subconscious as well, because sometimes that's what it is. You want to take therapy, especially if your plan is allowing you. Those people that have had some sort of sexual abuse, trauma, some sort of anything abuse, or just hard time growing up with the parents and siblings, friends, work, divorce, any of those life-changing things, anything, a major trauma with an accident, or, anything and everything, invest in that. Yeah, your therapist may not understand your twin flame journey. doesn't mean that, you know, they don't understand the trauma that's around you with things. So I suggest that as well, because especially if it's covered in your medical system, why wouldn't you want to do that? Do that, because you'll find that that you will actually move things along faster as well. And for those that are brave enough, I know there's a couple that are doing these kind of therapies. Hats off to you guys, because you guys are taking the bull by the horns. That's basically what it is, right? So you want to do that as well. Another one that I want to mention is shamanism. So for those that have taken some sort of you know, healing through a shaman, you'll know what I'm talking about, because that is very, very good as well. I've had one of my best healing was actually from the 3-part series of shamanism that I did, and as well as through my practitioner program. You know, I do journeying with the group and with my teacher, and every time that I've done the journeying, it's more healing and healing. So the practitioner program is actually really, really amazing. So I want to say that that's actually very, very important as well. You want to also look at getting your power animal retrieved. I didn't even know there was such thing when I was getting my shaman healing, because I just knew that I needed to get my healing done, for the simple reason that I knew that my soul was fragmented. So meaning that my soul had, you know, shattered into many, many pieces, and I wanted it to come together, right? You know, so I just knew that much. And there's not much article on that I could see, or at that time last year I couldn't really see too much information on that. But what I found is that it was something that was coming to me very, very strongly. So I looked into it, and I had a massive healing breakthrough with that. And yeah, I did see in my shamanism you know, healing, that, you know, I brought pieces of my soul, you know, that were fragmented together. So that was amazing. And in that process, excuse me, lots of burping. In that process, I had my 2 power animals. I only know that one can embody you, but I don't know. That's what had happened, and I didn't even know that actually was what it was supposed to be. I had to look it up later, because I was lost for a few days, because I thought to myself, what the hell just happened? And of course, you know, the healer that I had, she's not actually you know, like a shaman, you know, she took a little bit of the program, but, you know, nothing. But of course, you know, my guides were really good, because they know that even if I don't go to somebody that's totally authentic shaman or whatnot, whatever healing I needed to have, or whatever I needed, actually did happen, right? So my guides were good that way. And again, you know, you will get the right kind of healing, whatever you need, if you have the right intention and you ask for help, right? So yeah, I wasn't explained that, but I had to look it up, and sure enough, yeah, I had two of my power animals embody me, and I I was gone for 1 week, you know, bedridden. Energy was like, it was a lot, because yeah, when your power animal is it's not animal spirit guide, because those ones, you know, will come and go in your life. I have so many of those. But the power animal, it's the spirit and the essence of that animal that will actually embody you. So it could be as small as an ant, you know, or it could be as big as an elephant. The kick you get with that, for those that have, write it down in the comments. You know what I'm talking about. You feel it. You'll feel it for at least a few days to a week, depending on how your body is actually taking it. But once you actually incorporate that, you heal that, you feel amazing and complete. So yeah, that's shamanism, and many more things. I had a couple of my souls that were weighing me down, is the best way that I can explain it, because in that healing session I noticed that I saw the souls kind of releasing, right? You know, so they were holding me out, right? You know, maybe and that's all part of that fragmented soul, because yeah, that's it's not you know, it's not devil that had possessed me, or it was my own part of my soul that didn't need to be with me. You know, they disemboweled, right? So I did see that as well. So a lot of cool things happen in shamanism. So yeah, find a good healer that that knows how to do all of that stuff, because you get a lot of good healing with that. Now, the last part that I want to say, unconditional love. Everybody loves to talk about that, you know, in the community. And it's one of those things, because I just feel like, oh my goodness, you know, like, you guys talk about unconditional love, but do you actually know what that means? Because a lot of people are freaking clueless what that actually means. It's not about unconditional love towards the universe, towards your twin flame and radiating this amazing energy. It could very well be, but unconditional love in twin flame journey is you. And for those that didn't know that, write it down, frame it, look at it every day. That's unconditional love is you, not your twin flame, not the universe, not your energy. Because once you start actually healing you from inside out, you start putting that energy automatically, just like what I was telling you about this experience. Because when you are starting to connect day to day with people, I think in today I had such a busy day, and I had already connected with so many people, and none of the people that I connected with, they were all happy to talk to me, and they actually ended up talking to me longer than usual. Because, you know, after, I don't even know who these people are. They're all strangers. I don't even know how they look like. And here I am chit-chatting and just being friendly or what have you. That's that. Because, you know, when you are feeling that amazing inside, you know, they feel that energy as well, and they actually get the same juice out of you. So that's what I'm gonna say, to me, is unconditional love. Because when you start loving you, you start going from within, and you're actually radiating that. Of course, your twin flame will get the juice, because that's what it is. You are, you know, you do love him or her with that condition, you know, with that unconditional situation. But it actually starts from you first, always you, and then it actually starts to radiate everywhere else. And you radiate that information, you know, that energy back to the universe and everybody that you come across with, and what have you. Because that's energy is fluid, right? You get everybody's juice, and they get the juice from you as well. So that's what it is, all about juicing. So if you really want to get into it, try juicing a whole bunch of fruit, and that's basically that energy. Because that's why they call it the energy drink. Because, you know, you've taken a little bit of that essence, you've taken a little bit of that essence, you know, you put some, you know, magic chia seeds and you know, flax seeds and all this good, you know, super food, and you're putting this, and bam, now you've got this amazing, you know, drink. Now you drink that and you feel like you're freaking Wonder Woman or Superman, you know, Iron Man, I don't know, like, you know, Marvel and Dixie, I mean, DC Comics, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, you feel like this amazing superhero or super, you know, girl or man or whatever. Because, you know, you've got the good juice. So in a lamest way I'm explaining is that's what that energy is. That is the unconditional love. And I wish that people understood it that way, because every time I look at that, I just cringe that yeah, their version is definitely very, very different than what it actually is. Because, you know, they're not understanding the depth of it. So yeah, with that, I hope that you guys enjoyed this, you know, pep talk. I know that was a lengthy one, but I didn't want to not leave any of the stuff, because I find that whatever, whatever stuff that I just talk about here, and then I'll link the blogs, and you guys kind of get a better understanding of it. And feel free to comment on it and tell me what you thought of this, if you were ever explained it like this by anybody, because I know that I wasn't. I only found one person that could explain it in the depth that she did, and it took me 2 years 2 years to understand what the heck she was saying. And I'm glad that I listened and went with what she was teaching, because if I didn't, then I would have been in that fluff mode that everybody else is, thinking unconditional love is their twin flame, and their, the desire to be with them, living happily ever after, which could very well be the case at some point, but it's, you're bringing down your heaven on earth experience here, and that only you can do, not your twin flame. You're not looking outside of you to make you happy. You have to look within you to make you happy, however way that is. And when you start shifting that whole perception, the whole universe will be your oyster. And I'm getting excited about my life and my journey, because I even the worst thing possible that happened last week, it's a big thing, because for those that actually know what I'm talking about, you would be like, oh no, and it did happen, and then, oh yes, that actually is out the door, and with a couple of $100, if that, I've got whole of that sorted out, and I'm just gonna say simply wow. And I am excited to keep going and seeing what is in store for me, because there's many exciting things that have been happening for me, and I'm just grateful. So, and I'm glad that I stayed on, and I didn't give up on my journey, my twin flame, my everything. So wow. Anyways, with all of this, I'm gonna let you go here. Do comment what you thought, and with that, this was Twin Flame Union.